Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is currently 10:25 p.m. Thursday night, October the 3rd, 2024, year of our Lord. I'm sitting out here in the truck in my driveway, and we are currently on day 7 of the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. It's been 7 days since it hit our area, and for those of you that has not seen my previous 2 videos, man, it's been a wild ride, man. It really has. I live in Augusta, Georgia. That's where I'm at right now, or actually right outside of it. I live in a little town called Evans, Georgia. It's about 10 minutes outside of Augusta, and it's actually Columbia County, Georgia. Augusta's in Richmond County, Georgia, but we're right on the line, and it's a little small metropolitan area in east central Georgia, right along the Savannah River Basin on the Georgia and South Carolina line. And Hurricane Helene came through here Thursday night, Friday morning a week ago, and it was supposed to be a tropical storm when it hit it was supposed to be a tropical depression when it hit our area, and it was actually supposed to go west of us. And we were warned that we could get some high winds, and we were warned that we were probably going to get some tornadoes, but the damage was supposed to be minimal. Well, as you know, the weather has a mind of its own, and we were in the direct path of destruction. And that thing, when it hit us, it was a Category 1 hurricane. And I don't know at what point it dropped down to a tropical storm, but when it hit this area, it was a Category 1 hurricane. We had wind gusts up to 110 miles an hour, man. It was crazy. My wife and I, from time to time, we sleep in the living room on the couches, just because, simple fact, there's some, we spend a lot of time watching podcasts. We don't watch a whole lot of TV, but we do get on YouTube and watch podcasts and things like that. And my wife, she plays it's a game on her iPad called PUBG. She plays that with a group of people that she's friends with, and she plays that every night for about 2 hours, and she always does it in the living room. Well, when we got off our devices Friday night or Thursday night, we just decided I was done for the week. There was nothing else to be done. Well, I take that back. Yeah, there was nothing else to be done because it was raining. It had rained all day Thursday. It rained a lot. I mean, I think it rained 4 inches all day Thursday. And I had one little small job I was supposed to do, that ditch up in Appling that I'm supposed to weed eat once a month. And I didn't do it because it was just, the rain was so heavy, and it was either going to be real bad weather or crystal clear Friday morning. So my plan was to get up Friday morning and go do it. Well, didn't have anything going on, and my wife and I, we just decided to stay in the living room for the night, and we would just sleep on the couches. And that the weather was going to be bad anyway, and we could just kind of stay down here and keep our ears open. Well, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't know when the power went out, but the power went out sometime before midnight. And but about 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to this just god-awful noise outside. I don't know what it was that made the noise. I mean, it was the wind, something that the wind did. And I don't know what it was, but something hit the side of the house, and it scared the piss out of me. And it woke me up. And I'm that guy, man. When I wake up, I'm done. I'm not going back to sleep. I just can't. It's too hard for me to fall back asleep. But about 3 o'clock in the morning, the storm woke me up. And I got off of the couch and put my shirt on and put my flip-flops on and a hat and was walking through the living room, fixing to go out the front door with a flashlight to see what was going on. And my wife asked me, she woke, I guess, I don't know if the storm woke her up or if me stirring around woke her up, but she said, "Babe, what are you doing?" And I told her, I said, "I'm fixing to go outside and see this." I said, "There's a lot of noise outside and I'm going to investigate." And dude, I kid you not, when I opened that door, oh my God, the air pressure almost knocked me down, and I almost couldn't get the door shut. The rain was going this way. I have a maple tree in my front yard. It was doing this number right here, and the leaves that were on the ground were falling up. They were not falling down, they were falling up. It was like something I've never seen. I mean, it was crazy. It looked like something out of a movie. It really did. I've never seen anything like that. And I had to use every ounce of muscle I had to shut my front door. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I told my wife, I said, I'm staying in here. I locked the door. And I said, I'm staying in here. We kept the flashlight on. And about that point, I guess me opening the door, the kids upstairs, you know, my four children upstairs, they heard the commotion. They came downstairs. They were scared to death. Nobody knew what was going on. We knew it was a storm. We knew it was a bad storm. We didn't know how bad it was. We just knew it was a bad storm. And well, that was at 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? And that lasted up until about 7:30 in the morning. Then it calmed down and it picked back up and lasted till about 9. It calmed down for about 15 or 20 minutes and then started back up and lasted till about 9. And we had all the blinds closed, had the curtains pulled and everything, just in case something did come through the windows. We wanted every little bit of layer of protection that we could have to keep from hitting one of us or one of our pets, or just something, you know. Any layer of protection we could have, we were putting it up there. And man, when everything calmed down, you know, it calmed down to just a slight drizzle and just high winds. You know, we had high winds all day Friday. I mean, the wind gusts were 40 and 50 miles an hour all darn day long Friday. And but looking out through the neighborhood, I thought it was bad. And I was like, wow, this is bad. I mean, there were, you know, we don't have a lot of real big trees in our neighborhood. The neighbor across the street from us has an oak tree that's probably about 50 years old. And it's probably, I don't know, probably 25, 30 feet high at the most. And it's a good size oak tree. Just a regular old sawtooth oak tree, I think is what it is. But wasn't any damage to that tree. I looked out through my front yard. There was a lot of shingles on the ground, which terrified me. And you know, I always strap my trash cans to my fence throughout the week. That way raccoons or possums or cats or something can't come around and knock them over. Well, luckily that part of my fence was not knocked over, but the rest of my privacy fence in my backyard was laying on the ground. And same way with the neighbors on the left of me and the neighbors behind me. You know, I live on a corner, so I have a neighbor to the left and a neighbor behind me. And everybody in the neighborhood had damage to their privacy fences. And I spent all day Saturday fixing fences, and other people in the neighborhood was helping fix siding and fixing what they could with people's columns on their front porches. And we have a handyman that lives in the neighborhood, and he put his skills to work and, you know, helped a lot of people fix their shingles, whatever could be fixed. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he tarped everybody's roof that needed to be tarped, and he didn't charge anybody for anything. And of course, nobody in the neighborhood charged each other for anything. I mean, it was just madness in the neighborhood. I mean, you should have saw it. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it was outside of the neighborhood. But to see everybody pull together the way they did Saturday to try to get everything restored and whatnot, I mean, it was a beautiful thing. It really was. But I want to say it was around 1:30, 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. We decided, we had heard one of the neighbors had went to go check on their mom, and I want to say it was around lunchtime. They went to go check on their mom that lives on the other side of town, because, you know, everybody was out power, didn't have no cell phone service or anything like that. And when he left, he turned right around and came back. He couldn't get out of the neighborhood. There was the entrance to our neighborhood, there was trees blocking the road on both sides. And he came back, and well, my wife and I, we'd got a phone call from my mother-in-law, and it was a very broken phone call. You couldn't understand anything she was saying. She lives up in Lincoln County, up at the lake, and that's the next county up from us. And she couldn't get out of her neighborhood. They had to, I want to say my father-in-law told me it took 3 hours to get out of the neighborhood, because he grabbed his chainsaw that had a dull chain on it, and he doesn't know how to sharpen the chain, but he went to hacking on trees that were laying across the road. And he said with that dull chainsaw, it took him about 3 hours to get out of the neighborhood, but he finally got out. And with a chainsaw and a strap on the truck, just breaking trees and cutting what he could, and pulling what he could out of the way with the truck. And nobody in his neighborhood would lift a finger to help. But the only thing we got out of that conversation was that my brother-in-law had a tree fall on the house and on their car. He has, you know, he's got his own truck, but they're also their family car. A tree was on top of it. So they were on the way over there, and we knew my father-in-law had a dull chainsaw blade, and he couldn't get up, and he don't know how to sharpen one. So I loaded my chainsaw and my pole saw up in the back of my truck with a can of mixed fuel, and headed that way. And that is when we saw the destruction. Man, it was breathtaking. I'm not even going, I mean, there's no way that I can put into words what we saw when we left our neighborhood. We realized right then how fortunate we were to live in the exact neighborhood that we live in, because every single neighborhood except ours was absolutely devastated. And I'm talking about trees falling on top of houses and just shredding them in half, falling on top of cars and just destroying brand new cars, old cars, collective cars, people's boats, campers. A few landscapers had their enclosed trailers parked in their backyards and in their driveways. Trees fell on all that stuff and just destroyed everything. And guys, we had trees in our area, you know, pine trees that 2 people can't wrap their arms around, and we had hardwood trees that are 200 and 300 years old. And there were some trees in our area that were known to be the oldest of that type of tree in the entire state. And guys, we had some extremely old trees in our area, some extremely huge, big trees. If any of you are familiar with Augusta, Georgia, then you know what I'm talking about. We've got a lot of trees, and we've got a lot of big trees. And it looked like something out of one of those apocalypse movies, man. I mean, it was an apocalyptic sight. It really was. I mean, you know, we did not have the death toll that Hurricane Katrina had, and we did not have the amount of flooding that Hurricane Katrina had. But as far as the unsightliness throughout the entire area, I would have to say that it was worse here with the way that things looked. And it's 6 counties overall, if I'm not mistaken, that make up the CSRA. It's 6 or either 8 counties, I'm not sure. But every county in the central Savannah River area, the CSRA in Georgia and South Carolina, every single county in our area was without power, and without gasoline, and people were stuck in their houses, people were stuck in their neighborhoods, people were stuck on their properties, people ran out of the gas on the roads trying to get to loved ones to help them. I destroyed my chainsaw trying to cut my brother's car out, or my brother-in-law's car out. I ruined a blade or a chain on I ruined two blades on a pole saw, and I mean, it was just crazy. It's craziness, and it still looks apocalyptic. I mean, people's homes were destroyed. Probably half of the CSRA, the homes in this area, are destroyed, and that's not an exaggeration. I mean, there's probably billions of dollars worth of damage. I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would say billions, not millions. And I think the death toll was somewhere around 25. Give or take 2 or 3, I don't know. It's somewhere around 25. But we had our generator hooked up whenever we got back home. We hooked our generator up. We had our freezer running. We had our refrigerator running. We had 3 fans going. We had 1 lamp going, and we had 1 power cord that just had a surge protector hooked to it, and we had any kind of cooking appliance that we would use and our coffee maker hooked up to it. And we tried to make ourselves as comfortable as possible, and we also used our pellet grill and our gas grill to cook supper with. We were good. We had plenty of food. We had running water. You know, if we had to go for longer than a week, I don't know what we would have done, but we're good. And our power is restored now. It goes in and out sometimes. Our Wi-Fi goes in and out sometimes. We never lost our running water. But in Richmond County, where Augusta is, the actual city of Augusta, Georgia, I don't think anybody over there has power yet. And I don't think anybody has gas over there yet. And I know their water was cut off. You know, it's not something that they wanted to do. Something about the water treatment facility in Augusta, the big water treatment facility, one of their pumps got clogged up, and they had to shut the supply line off to the entire city. And I want to say it was like 48 hours they were without running water. And there's some gas stations around here that were charging $40 to $50 for a case of water, and those same gas stations were also charging $10 a gallon for unleaded gasoline, regular unleaded. And I mean, it's crazy, man. It really is. I mean, there's probably been more generators and chainsaws sold this weekend in our area than it ever has been in the history of Augusta, Georgia. And from what I understand, Augusta, Georgia, you know, I'm 40 years old, and I've lived here my entire life, and we've never had a hurricane as long as I've lived here. And from what I understand, there has never been a hurricane recorded in our area that has been categorized as a hurricane when it got through our area. We've had tropical storms, tropical depressions, and we always get aftermath. It might be, the worst it may be is a small F1 tornado, you know, but we never have a significant amount of damage or any deaths or flooding or anything because of a hurricane. We're too far inland. And I said it in another video, the closest shoreline we have to us is in Savannah, Georgia, and you're looking at about 3 to 3.5 hours away from us. And it didn't even come through Savannah. It didn't come from the Atlantic coast. It came up through the Gulf Coast. So you talking about 4 to 5 hours away from from that coastline. And it was still a Category 1 hurricane when it got here. But a lot of people being taken advantage of. As far as the damage goes, you know, there is FEMA camps and GEMA camps set up here, and FEMA claimed that they were helping people, but personally, I don't need any help. We're good. You know, we don't live week to week anyway, but you know, we didn't have any damage that we need help with. We don't have to make any kind of insurance claims or anything like that. But I do have a lot of buddies that do not have the funds available to them that I have, and they're making anywhere from 50 to 60 grand a year, raising 4 and 5 people, 4 or 5 people living in their household, and that's not a lot of money nowadays. And if you make less than $30,000 a year, from what I'm being told, now don't hold me to this because I don't know this to be true. Don't be fact checking me or calling me out or anything like that. Because I'm telling you right now, I have not checked this. I have not vetted it. This is what I'm being told by people that I know that have no reason to lie to me. That they're being told that if you make less than 30K, you get help. If you make more than that, you don't get help. And from what I understand, the only help these people are getting are $740. Guys, $740 is not enough to cover the cost of a generator. Not a generator big enough to run your refrigerator and whatever you need to run. It's not. I mean, you're looking at anywhere from $800 to $1,200 for a 6,500 watt generator. And but yeah, it's bad. And yesterday, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came here, and I don't know what all they said. And I try to stay out of politics. I mean, I follow it to a certain extent, but I don't trust any of them. I don't on either side of the aisle. I don't trust any politician. But from what I understand, they got booed out of here, and Trump's coming tomorrow, and I expect the same thing with him. He's probably going to get booed out of here. But guys, I kid you not, man. This is like something I've never seen in my entire life. But the last video I posted, I was talking about looters and being prepared and things like that. Guys, that's not an exaggeration. That really did happen. It's calmed down, but I do know this. There was 4 masked gunmen that robbed a young couple at gunpoint in the neighborhood across the highway from my neighborhood. And the Walmart, a few grocery stores, couple of gas stations, and all of the dollar stores over in Richmond County. From what I understand, every one of them, every one of the dollar stores, from what I understand, were looted and got vandalized over the past 7 days. And one of the Walmarts, a couple of the grocery stores, and some of the gas stations as well. And I'm hearing stories about people fighting each other in the lines at grocery stores just to get in, to get some products that they may not even have. And same way with gas stations. People in surrounding areas that did have open gas stations, I'm talking about 50 and 60 miles from us, that wasn't affected as bad and were able to stay open. People were fighting at those gas stations. And I mean, it's just a circus. It really is. I mean, it's terrible. But one lady woke up in the middle of the night. Something woke her up in the middle of the night. And when she woke up, she realized that a man had came in her house and laid down in the bed with her. And he didn't think he had done anything wrong. And she ran for a gun and to protect her 3 kids. A woman, a single mom with 3 kids in a house by themselves with no power. And some random dude just walks in their house and lays in the bed with her and thinks he did absolutely nothing wrong. But that's the level of craziness that you're hearing about around here. And but from what I understand, it's calmed down some with people regaining power and grocery stores opening back up and gas stations opening back up. And we're almost, probably half of the area is still without power. And I think everybody, except for people that are on wells, have running water. People are using generators to run their wells and their refrigerators in some places. And but most of Columbia County is back up and almost back to normal. And the grocery stores have had truck after truck after truck resupplying them. And we were at Walmart today, and we were just taking it 2 days at a time, just getting some stuff that we knew wouldn't go bad. And we went to Publix 2 days ago, and they seemed to start restocking meats, proteins. So we did get some meat. And today we went to Walmart, and Walmart was fully stocked. They had everything you needed. But there's still a lot of gas stations that aren't opened up. And the ones that are open, they have very minimal gas. You know, there's a limit that you can buy. And some of them even, some of these gas stations are even telling people you're not allowed to fill up gas containers. It's for vehicles only. Which is, I understand why, but I don't like that just because of the simple fact that people need gas to run their generators. But it's a mess. I mean, you know, the area is still a mess. The Sparkies are the linemen. You know, I've always called them Sparkies, being a union man. But the linemen, they're still out working 24 hours a day, man, round the clock. They're busting their tails out there, and I'm so thankful for them. We had guys come from Alabama, Mississippi, Maine, New Jersey, Virginia, you name it. We've had people come from all over the East Coast to help restore our power. And if any of you guys see this video, hey man, if you're ever in the Augusta, Georgia area when things calm down, hit me up, man. I'll buy you a steak dinner, because I'm telling you, you guys are like superheroes to all of us right now. You really are. And but I feel terrible for those guys, because they're being mistreated by a lot of people around here. Some people are just ungrateful because they're not getting their power on as fast as they would like. And you know, some of our tree guys, you know, there's two main tree companies in my area that are just mega tree companies, and they can't keep up. There's several others that are extremely good. They can't keep up. And we've got guys coming from out of state, tree companies coming down here. You know, most of the people around here call them storm chasers, and they're coming down here charging $40,000 to $50,000 a tree to remove a tree from your property. And I don't know what professional tree work goes for. I've been told anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 a tree, if it's on a power line or a house or something like that. I don't know. I've never had to price it, but a lot of people are being taken advantage of, and homeowners insurance is not covering a lot of it. But in renters insurance, from what I understand, from what I've been told from everybody that is renting houses, man, they're saying renters insurance ain't covering jack squat. And man, that's horrible. That is terrible. But there's just a lot going on right now, guys. And last time I got on here was, I want to say it was 3 or 4 nights ago. I was walking around in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep, so I made a video. And you know, a lot of you guys have reached out to me, and just to check, make sure we're good, don't need anything. And I haven't been able to get back to any of you guys. I do apologize. Our signal has been in and out, and for I want to say it was like 4 days straight, we didn't have any signal at all. And so I just quit putting out videos altogether with updates, because it was taking a day and a half to upload a video, and it was draining my phone. So I gave up on that. But my wife took videos as we were riding around of different things, different houses, different telephone poles, and just destruction, just taking videos of destruction, and snapped some still photos and all that good stuff. And once I get a chance, I'm gonna put all that together, and I'm gonna show y'all that in a separate video. And some of you may have seen worse. I don't know. A lot, you know, I'm sure some of you guys that live on the coast that have seen Category 4 and 5 hurricanes have seen a lot worse. But guys, we're 4 or 5 hours inland. We don't see storms like this. So this is all new to us, man. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. It really is. But you know, God is good. He got everybody through it, or everybody in my family. We're all good. We're all safe. We all have plenty of food. We all have running water. We have power. Most of us have power now. I think my brother-in-law is still without power, and he's being stubborn, won't come stay with nobody. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Every man has a level of pride. I guess you can't be a man without having somewhat a little bit of pride. But you know, we treated ourselves to steaks 2 nights ago when we went to Publix, and I threw some steaks on the pellet grill for my family, my wife and kids, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law. And then tonight I smoked some leg quarters, and so we've been doing fine. Just, you know, when we didn't have power, you know, it was up in the high 80s. The air was very stagnant, very muggy. There was no wind at all after the hurricane. So we were all very frustrated. We were sitting up in the house, riding around on the golf cart, just sweating like pigs. Sweating like pigs for no reason at all. And there's not a single landscaper around here that has gone back to work. And mainly because of the gas situation, because gas isn't restored. But all of us expect to be able to go back to work Monday. And all of the customers are fine with it. They get it. But, man, and from what I understand, there's another one in the Gulf of Mexico or out in the ocean somewhere brewing. I haven't looked at the news, but they're saying that there's another one gonna hit us again, either this coming up week or next week, and it's projected to take the exact same path that Hurricane Helene did. But anyway, man, we learned a lesson. We're gonna be prepared. We're gonna take heed to every warning we get, and I got to get a new freezer, man. I lost my freezer. It went out on me. Everything we had in there went out. So, yeah, got to get a new freezer. Try to get that done sometime this week before it gets before that other storm gets here. Get it restocked. But yeah, man, we just been dealing with a lot over the past 7 days. Everybody that reached out to us and make sure we had what we need. I know Buster Davis down there at New Hope Cuts, man, you offered to meet me halfway for supplies, generators, things like that, man. I greatly appreciate it. I really do, man. And but we're good up here. We had everything we needed. Some folks commented on videos. Some folks have reached out via text, Facebook message, you name it. I mean, people just been checking on us, and I greatly appreciate it. I do, man. And God bless each and every one of y'all. And but you know, there's people out there that's got it a whole hell of a lot worse than we do, man. You've got Asheville, North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina. The city of Augusta itself is still in extremely bad shape. Valdosta got hit hard. Savannah got hit hard. And people on the Gulf Coast of Florida, man, I don't know anything about Florida right now. I still have not been able to check the news or anything like that. And I haven't heard from any of my people that live in Florida. And so I am worried about them, man. So if anybody knows anything about Florida, please, man, let us know. And because I'm worried about some folks down there. I really am. But especially around the Pensacola area. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that's got it a lot worse than what we have. And but us, Valdosta, and Savannah were the hardest three. Were hit harder than any area in Georgia, and we were the 3 hardest hit. And the Augusta area was the 2nd hardest hit, right behind Valdosta. And but we're pulling through, man. We're still in the cleanup stage, and we're just leaning on God right now and leaning on each other. But for the most part, everybody in my area, my immediate area, this main highway that I live on, we all got power, running water, and but gas isn't completely restored. Wi-Fi isn't restored, so we'll see what happens, man. But I know Columbia County is set to go back to school Monday. I don't know how in the hell they're going to do that, but we'll see. But yeah, man, listen, everybody that was affected by this, I'm praying for y'all, man. I am. And we're all struggling down here together. And I know what you're going through. Trust me. You know, I haven't lost anybody. I haven't had any home damage. And if you're experiencing anything like that, man, my heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry. I really am, man. You have my condolences. And I will keep you in my prayers. But all you guys out there, man, do me a favor and say a prayer for Augusta and everybody else that was affected by this, man, because this was bad. This was really bad. It's probably the worst storm that's ever hit our area. But look here, man, I'm gonna get off here, and if you get anything out of this, man, just remember, stay prepared, take heed to warnings, and trust God, man, because he'll get you through anything. But I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna get back in with the family. My wife and I, we're about to go out and patrol the neighborhood to make sure there ain't any shenanigans going on around here. And I'll cut y'all back on the next one, man. But until then, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holler at y'all. Bye.